And we're back. Welcome to It Starts With Her podcast.
Yes, the second episode. We made it. We made it.
No fights this time.
No fights.
No fights. No fights.
So,
here.
I mean, we kind of like missed introducing ourselves the first episode in the beginning. So you want to introduce ourselves again?
So I'm the middle child, Lauren. This is the oldest one,
Serenay,
or Nay. And Mama J over there.
Mama J. I'm Janae, J. Christine.
Yes. And
Everybody calls me J, though, so you guys can call me Mama J.
Or J-Lo. People like to call her that, too. But yeah, this is a mother-daughter podcast. We're just trying to navigate our mental health, our relationships. We're getting into the good, the bad, the ugly.
Exactly, and we're just trying to figure out our relationship between ourselves, between mom and daughters.
Exactly, our mental health relationship, and see if it can help anyone else. So let's get into it. Today we're going to be talking about our traumas and what else, Nay?
So a little bit of like our breaking points, why we decided to get our mental health on track.
First time we went to therapy.
Yeah, first experience with, therapy. I know mom's journey is a little different. She didn't do the traditional like go see a therapist kind of a thing, So, yeah.
All right.
You want to start with?
Yeah, I'll get into my therapy. So the first time I sought therapy, maybe a lot of the same reason most people do, is after a heartbreak. It was in college, and I remember this was back in like 2016, I think, 2016, 2017. It was after like a horrible an on and off relationship that just was screwing up my mental health. And I just decided like I need to talk to somebody. I went to college in Oregon. So I was by myself. And although, I had my friends who I knew, I couldn't talk to them about my relationship problems, or I don't know. It was just, you get to a point where you're like, I need professional help. And that's what I did. I remember I was even scared to tell, like, I think dad or like you. I don't even remember if I like told you in the beginning at first. I don't know if you remember, but
yeah, you had mentioned some things to me, and I did. Yeah, recommend that you do
go talk to somebody.
Talk to someone that you could trust.
Yeah, we were all like really concerned and like worried for you, and especially like conversations mom and I had were like, she needs help, and we hope that she sees it.
This was probably one of the worst points that we had ever seen you at, and
really?
We were really worried and really concerned about you. And you had dropped so much weight.
Yeah,
you
so
were
stressed.
eating. You were so stressed out.
I remember that.
How you were even keeping it together with school is beyond me, because I used to think like, oh my gosh, I don't know how, because if that would have been me in the situation, I probably would have just given up and
I almost wanted
out of college. And but I got to hand it to you, like going through what you went through.
Yeah, that was hard.
and to still keep it together in college.
It was hard, especially like if you knew me from a little kid, like I hated being away from my family. Like I would go to sleep over my cousin's house, and I'd call my mom and dad crying to pick me up at midnight.
We already knew if she was going to be at a sleepover that we were going to get that phone call to come pick her up.
So you knew not to go to sleep.
We knew not to go to sleep or try and have like a night out, date night, nothing. We just knew sooner or later we were going to get that call.
Exactly. So going to college and then, meeting somebody, getting my heart broken, and like it just felt like the world was ending. And I guess, dating a narcissist pretty much. And I was so young. Like if you think about it, leaving high school at 18 years old to go to a different state where there's drinking and partying and drugs and boys and girls and just all this craziness. So I don't know. I got to a point where I needed to basically go talk to somebody, and I just remember it being so weird and so like it was taboo to me because I didn't want to tell anybody. Like even if my friends on campus were asking me like, oh, where are you going? Like, why can't you, kick it? Oh, I got an appointment. Every time I got an appointment, I got a doctor's appointment. Like it was just, I don't know. Do you remember like the first time you guys went to therapy and like not wanting to tell anybody, or maybe feeling like you would be judged?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. I mean, because you always hear, like, oh, you're in therapy? Like, she must be crazy or something.
Yeah, you don't want to be viewed as a crazy person. Yeah. But I remember, yeah. I mean, I guess I don't even really remember. I guess it's easier to see it from the outside in because I didn't even know really what I was going through. That phase to me kind of seems like a blur, but I just know I wasn't doing good.
And it's really important to seek the help, whether it be a therapist or whether, like, I chose to do the self-help route. I didn't seek therapy, which I think I probably should see a therapist.
So have you still never talked to an actual therapist?
Yeah. No, I just kind of did all the work on my own.
See, that's
and
so
I would
crazy
read
to me.
a lot, and I would Google a lot of things.
This was before TikTok.
A lot of TED Talks.
Yeah, this is before TikTok was big and had all those mental health videos.
I really did a lot of, just like a lot of soul searching and a lot of reading. I remember when I was like having a dark day, I just needed something like, I just was really reaching. So I started Googling things, and it just so happened that something popped up with We Rise.
Oh,
and
yeah.
That I think was either their first, I believe it was their first.
Yeah, explain We Rise.
Year.
What is We Rise?
It's basically a free event that they hold in LA, and it's open to anyone and everyone who wants to attend. And it's basically just a safe space and a community that welcomes everyone and really talks about mental health. And it gives you the tools necessary if you don't know where to start. But it's such a beautiful, beautiful event, and I've gone to it every single year since.
You dragged us there too.
Yeah,
exactly.
the very first year,
Exactly.
Mom dragged us there, and I remember that being, part of when she was going through her self-care.
Well, I was going to say, was that the first time? Because I remember one of the times we stalked Mom. She didn't even tell us she was going to that
So
event.
We Rise is like a week-long event.
Yeah. And it has just different speakers. I remember Kobe Bryant was there.
YG was there.
Before he left, YG was there. There's just so much information and speakers that just really help with your healing process. And kind of, it's nice because it kind of gives you a direction to go to, and it gives you a lot of information. There are also therapists there if you need to, seek someone that you really need to talk to. But it's just a really good starting point, which really helped me. Because beside the art, they incorporate so much there. They even have like yoga.
I remember we did Reiki.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. Yes. They've got workout events that you can go to. They even have things for children, for kids.
Yeah.
Which is so amazing. But the art show that they do there, it's
curated really nicely.
Yeah, towards your mental health.
Very nice. So if you guys ever have an opportunity, check out We Rise.
What I was trying to get at, though, is that the first time, I don't know if you remember this, Nate.
Yeah, I remember.
Okay, you know where I'm trying to get?
Our grandma was with us.
Yes. Okay, so my mom, this is when, she was working on her mental health and she didn't want us to be around. Really, like, she needed to be by herself.
It was a dark day for sure for her.
Yeah, and we didn't understand. Like, we're like, like I had Mom's location. I think we were bored. We dragged our grandma. We're like, let's just go find Mom. Like, let's just see what she's doing. Like, she's ignoring us.
Well,
to us, we felt
I think what happened was we were supposed to go together, and then of course something.
I don't remember that. I just remember Mom taking off without us.
Yeah, Mom got upset, and then we were like, oh my gosh, like, we don't want Mom to be on her own.
Oh, yeah, I remember that.
And then we ended up going down there and like tracking her down, and like
we didn't know where she was going. Yeah, we didn't know where she was going, right? Or did we know that?
I think we knew, and then we showed up there and we're like, okay, well, even if it's a dark day for her, we're going to support her still.
Yeah, exactly. And she didn't want us to be there at first. She was actually kind of pissed.
I remember that day. I just really was having such a bad day or bad week that I was really pushing everyone away.
Right.
Really pushing everyone away, which is not good, but that was just my way of trying to heal.
Exactly.
Trying to heal.
But how did it feel us being there at the end, like to support you? Did you still not want us there? Or
No,
was it good?
no. Actually, it felt really good because I felt seen. Like
Yeah.
I just kind of felt like
We didn't
nobody cares, nobody sees, what I'm going through, how I'm feeling.
Yeah.
And just the support, like there's no greater support than when your family shows up.
Yeah,
especially
exactly.
my daughters and my mom. And it just really made me feel like, wow, you guys understand, because a lot of people don't. A lot of people don't understand
Yeah.
what it is to have,
Yeah.
to go through some dark days, have a little bit of depression, and learning how to accept it and deal with it. And I think I think that's become the norm. Like, really, I think everybody go through those days, those
Yeah,
dark
Everybody.
days.
Yeah.
sure.
I still get those
Everybody
days.
does.
Yeah.
And I think before, because it wasn't discussed so much, it was kind of like that, taboo that nobody talked
Yeah.
about. But I think, with people talking about it more, that there's more awareness.
Exactly. I think,
about it.
It's definitely different. I remember going there, and that was kind of like my first introduction to, okay, this mental health thing it's really a thing.
It's real. Yeah.
Like, it's real. Like, people are, really wanting to be better for themselves and
Yeah.
change. And I think for me, that was too, like, seeing all of that, I was like, wow, I need to be better for myself. And seeing you was really,
Yeah, and the event
good
is just
point.
it's so creative, and it's just so beautiful, like the way they put everything together, and it's just a really good event. Really
Yeah.
good. And that was my start, and I continue to go every single year after that, and it's just an event that I look forward to every single year.
Yeah.
Aw.
Every single year. So
I love that. Yeah, I'm gonna take you guys along when we go this year, hopefully.
yeah, exactly.
I know we
exactly.
haven't gone.
I know.
Yeah.
So, do you think you'll ever see a therapist or seek one, or are you still just gonna do the traditional?
I think about it, and I think I probably will. I probably will. Yeah.
I know, like you've come a long way, and you've done so much self, work and everything. There's something that I heard and why I sought to seek therapy and to see a therapist is if there's something that has happened to you in your life and you feel like you're over it, right? Because I know there's certain things that mom has gone through, and she's like, no, like I've worked through that. It doesn't affect me anymore. But if there's something in your life that has happened and you still cry about it, you haven't healed from it. And so I think that for me, seeing a therapist, I try to do the work myself also, but there's just certain things that you want to talk to someone about and shows you different perspectives or different techniques that you can use to help you in your healing. So I feel like, it never hurts to
to
talk
seek
to someone.
therapy.
Yeah.
And the reason why I say that I probably will seek a therapist now is because I think what helped me during then is because, we all need that safe place or a safe person that you can come and talk to. And I know that you guys open up a lot to me about a lot of things these past years. Like, I feel that we have that relationship now where we have that connection where before I think we felt kind of disconnected.
Yeah,
In a way,
yeah, definitely.
And but I know even though you guys can come to me and feel like you guys can talk to me pretty much about anything, there's still certain things that you still can't talk to mom about.
Yeah.
You know
Yeah.
what I mean? There's still certain things that you still just kind of want to keep private, where you need that significant other or a best friend or a friend that you can really trust. And I think what helped me during that time was I did have a best friend. I had a best friend for over 30 years. Her name is Patricia, but she's no longer with us, unfortunately.
Rest in peace.
She passed away a couple of years ago, but she was my best friend for over 30 years. And I'm learning to heal. I'm still dealing with the grief because she did die of COVID. And she was my go-to person, like my total, like we depended on each other we went through everything together. I mean, she saw you guys grow up since you were a
I
little
love
girl,
Patricia.
and I saw, I practically helped raise her daughters with her. She was a single parent, and I could go to her and talk to her about anything. And she was the one that would literally, talk me down from the ledge when I was ready to jump.
Oh my God, even though you should not be laughing at that. This is our dark humor.
I know. It is dark humor. And the reason why I say that, because those are the things that I've been able to hold on to, because me and her kind of had this little, these little jokes or innuendos or little things that would make us laugh. And when she knew I was in a really dark place, she would know. And she would pick up the phone and she'd be like, girl, do you need me to talk you down from the ledge? And I'm like, yes. Yeah. And, and she was such a safe place because she never judged me. I mean, yeah, we would fight literally like sisters and we wouldn't talk for like days. But I think she was kind of my safe place where she was like my therapist.
Yeah.
That I had someone just to kind of talk out my frustrations, my issues, whether it was like with you guys, fighting with you guys, or, my boyfriend. But she always, she never had anything negative to say. She would always encourage me and say, girl, you've got the support. You're so blessed. You've got beautiful girls. And this is just something that you guys are going through and you'll get through it. It's just another one of those things. And your man loves you. And I know you want to leave him on a daily, but he loves you.
Yeah.
You're not going to find anyone like who will love you the way that he does. Yeah, he could be a jerk, an asshole sometimes, and not, see eye to eye with you, or just not understand you and some of your ways. Yeah. But, he works on it. And she used to tell me that, you know what, I can see that he loves you. If he didn't, I would be the first one to tell you, girl, you need to leave him. Yeah. And I miss that honesty. I miss someone who can tell you, hey, you're in the wrong. And that's what she would do. When I would have fights with you guys, arguments, and I would kind of tell her, she's like, do you really want to know the truth? And I'd be like, yes, she's like, you're in the wrong.
Right. And that's, and that you're lucky to have someone like that was your best friend, because I think that's why a lot of people seek a therapist, to have that, someone who's not going to judge them, for one, and then someone who's going to give their not unsolicited advice, but they're going to keep it real with you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're an outsider looking in, and you might see a different perspective than they do, and they're going to open your eyes to that. And I think she definitely helped you in that way. So you never had to feel like you needed a therapist,
Yes.
Where for me, I feel like it was a long time coming that I needed to see a therapist since I was little. I remember a conversation Mom and I had, and mind you, I was never one to really open up and express my emotions, how I was feeling, that I was upset. I just tended to hold everything in.
Serenade shuts down.
Yeah.
You're not going to get a word out of me. and it's something that I struggled with even to the last couple of years. But that's why I finally got to the point where I was like, I need to seek help, and talk out all of these things that I've gone through in my life from childhood until now, and understanding the things that I went through, they happened to me, and it's shaped who I am as an adult, right? And I can change that. And so I feel like for me, therapy really helped me in that way. And kind of doing the other work, reading the self-help books and journaling. But I think for me, it was when I was getting married. I had so much going on in my life, huge change. I had just, moved in with Brian, which is a major point in your life, and it can bring on a lot of emotions. And, I'm very a creature of habit kind of, and I love keeping things the same. So that move kind of triggered a lot of anxiety in me that I wasn't prepared for. And then planning a whole wedding, and then that time going through a lot of, I guess, medical issues that I didn't realize until after, because I seeked so many doctors thinking something is wrong with me. I am having all of these anxiety attacks. I don't know what's going on. I saw cardiologists, neurologists, all of these things. I was literally going crazy trying to figure out, and then just being, it was anxiety and stress, and so I think that's when I really thought okay, I have to get this under control, because if I don't, like, I can start to spiral.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
I remember you too. Like, I would think, because this is before I started working on my mental health too, and I remember sometimes like you would just like hold my, you're like, Lauren, just hold me. Like, she would constantly just be like this with me. And like in the middle of the parking lot, I'm like, what are we doing? Like, why do you need me to hold your hand? But I didn't understand that anxiety.
Yeah.
And I mean, I get really bad anxiety too. And I didn't, like, I thought she was making this up. I'm like, what are you talking? Like, what is this crazy feeling you're feeling? But I didn't realize that, like, how serious it actually was. I thought you were making this up in your head.
It just kind of seemed like you were at the emergency or at the doctor, like, couple of times every day practically, just
you need
about.
A stamp card there.
Yes. And I'm like, oh my God, what is going on with my daughter? And I'm like, she'll figure it out. Like, I didn't want to be negative. I just kind of had to let you go through it and you figure it out. Yeah. But it's nice when you can get your anxiety under control and just understand, like, okay, it's anxiety and it's going to come and it's going to go.
Right.
Like I used to struggle with it so bad. It was so bad that I would get panic attacks where I couldn't even breathe. Like I would have to go outside. They were so bad. And they just kind of come out of
randomly,
nowhere. Randomly. But for the past, since I've been working on my mental health, I don't get them anymore. Yeah. Because I just kind of like, if I feel something coming on, I'm like, okay.
You know what it is.
I know what it is, and it's going to pass, and it's okay.
Yeah,
and I think
exactly.
like, not really controlling it, but learning to
accept it.
Accept it. Yes.
Understand
it, and know, like, okay, it's okay. Like.
Exactly. And you do. You have to accept that, hey, it's happening, and you kind of control it with not allowing more
you just
thoughts in your head.
I guess handle it, right?
Because I think that's what kind of escalates it.
The more you try to control.
The more you try to control it, or the more thoughts you allow to get in your head.
Yeah.
And then you start thinking, oh my God, it could be this, or what if I'm having a heart attack, or what if I'm... And it's like, okay, calm down. Just take a deep breath.
Breathe.
It's
relax.
Happening.
Yeah.
And you already know it's going to pass. Just give it a little bit of time.
Yeah.
Don't try to resist. Don't try to fight it, because it just makes it worse.
No, exactly.
It just makes it worse.
Exactly.
Yes.
And now too, that when I find myself getting like that, I can tell myself, like, or if I'm with somebody else, like, hey, I feel my anxiety coming on, or hey, let me take a break. Or like, because in the past, I have a bad habit of bringing it out on like the person that's with me. And I just get into these bad moods. And the person just thinks I'm being a bee, but I'm like, I'm just, I'm feeling something.
And it's good that you do, when you do feel something coming on, like you do take a step back or a break or a minute or a breather. And you let the other person know, like, hey, you know what? Yeah, I'm feeling a little anxious. So just give me a little bit of room. Give me a little bit of, let me breathe.
Yeah. Just communicate
and
what
then
you need.
I'll get back to you. I'll get back to you. Yes. Yeah.
Exactly. I think, and we're better with that too, with each other instead of just
I think that's
going
what
off.
would create most of our fights.
I think we all were just so messed up internally that we didn't know how to
deal with it. Yeah.
And all of us, being under the same roof, and we're all, women, and if we were on our periods or whatever, we're just all going through it. Yes. That's not going to be good when we don't know how to control it, you know? So
it's good. It's good that we're learning to communicate that way. Like, hey, girls, I'm having a moment. Like, I thought I would be good with this, but I'm not.
No, exactly.
And it's okay. It's okay. And we have to understand that. And we have to accept it, instead of getting upset with each other.
Exactly.
But anyway, so how did that therapy work out for you in college?
Well, I mean, we're here. So, no, I think it was my first introduction to therapy. What I didn't realize is that therapy is not just a one-time thing and you're done. It's something that you maybe need to revisit, or something that you do need to go back. So the last time I was in therapy, it was college, but then I also sought therapy, I think a year or two ago. And because I just realized, like, I did work on myself, but I had lost touch with all those tools and everything I learned in therapy. Going through the pandemic and stuff, that kind of just went all out, the window. And then I got into I came out, I got into a new relationship, and all of that trauma and all of the, just bad energy and baggage that I carried from my last relationship actually ended up carrying into my relationship now. And it almost, I almost lost the love of my life. And it literally was like, she told me, I will not be with you unless you go to therapy. Like, unless you seek professional help. Like, she's like, you really need it. And so for me, that was my breaking point, because I was spiraling, and I was also drinking too. So, and I was using drinking as a crutch a little bit. I'm not saying I was an alcoholic, but I was definitely using it as a crutch and making excuses and just kind of trying to fill the void, but it took like literally 3 months. I cut off friends. I cut off even a little bit talking to my girlfriend too. I cut off friends. I cut off my girlfriend, sought therapy. I cut out drinking. I started going to the gym.
Yeah, drinking never helps.
No, drinking never helps, especially when you're going through it. It's never, yeah. And I feel like now I'm at a place where, I can understand when I'm feeling anxiety or feeling stress, and I can communicate that instead of letting that blow up. And I also know that, like, I'm okay. And, I actually read an article the other day, just to get into it really quick, about codependency and how it comes, like, that attachment style comes from when you're a kid. Mm-hmm. And so I realized, like, damn, I have that attachment style in my relationship, and I don't allow that person to just, be them. So long story short, there was just a lot of things I had to learn, and I had to revisit therapy. And, even though you think you might have done all the work, it's just always important to practice that work and be mindful of your emotions.
Yeah,
I guess.
Exactly. And like you said, codependency, that was another major issue that I had, that I struggled with my entire life. Mm-hmm. And that's probably where you kind of get a little bit of that from also. But codependency, that's a whole nother segment that we would have to get into. That is a major issue right there.
Yeah.
Yes. If you're codependent, you got to definitely start doing the work.
Yeah.
Because when I did, there's no better feeling than
there isn't.
to just be you, independent, but still have your partner and been in a relationship, but still be you.
And to love being by yourself.
Yes.
Now, literally, like 2 years ago, I hated being by myself. If my girlfriend was busy, I'd call my sister. My sister was busy, I'd call my mom. My mom was busy, I'm FaceTiming my friend who lives in a different state. Like, I never knew how to be by myself. And now it's actually getting to a point where I love being by myself and working on what I want to work on and doing what I want to do, that I sometimes I go MIA. Like,
well, Serena, you were like that also. I mean, we used to laugh and joke because we always used to say, "Oh, Serena's so FOMO."
Oh yes. Oh my God, Serena's
and now you're the opposite,
FOMO.
right?
And
I know.
I love being alone. I don't know. Like, I don't have to feel like I need to say yes to everything now. You know?
Finally learned that, but
I did.
You had to. It took some time to learn that, because I think you would agree and overextend yourself,
and I'm like,
because
oh, shit.
you just were trying to. You had a little bit of that people pleasing, like, I have to make everybody happy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've always been a people pleaser.
Yeah,
and I think that stems from being, like you
sister.
said, like, not just being the oldest sister, but from childhood. Like, I was always hyper vigilant of everyone else around me. How's mom feeling? What's dad's mood today? Yeah. If I walk into a room, what is the vibe here? You know,
yeah,
and
you had to learn to read the room and read people before you approach them about anything, or what kind of mood are you in?
Yeah.
Or what kind of mood are they in?
And I think that was a part of, me being a people pleaser.
Yeah. And that's trauma.
Yeah.
I mean, that is trauma.
Mm-hmm. Not knowing what, And
now I have, what is it? ROMO, the relief of missing out.
ROMO, I've never even heard of that, giving us new terms.
Yeah, it's like, okay, no, I'll skip that.
Yeah, I'm good. I'm going to be home today.
I know. For me, too, it's like now, I used to say yes to everything because, like, the codependency, just wanting to be around people, wanting to just not be alone in our own thoughts. Now I'm like, just leave me alone. Like, I cancel plans. Or I don't know. For me, I just feel like I only have time for so many, like, people or so many things, or
you have a social battery, and it only lasts for so long.
Exactly.
And once that's out, it's like, okay, I need time for myself again.
Exactly. Well, especially now that we are all trying to work on our mental health, I think it's so important to really, you have to really pick and choose. Like you have to, it's so important, like who you surround yourself with.
Yeah.
Again, friends, you know, even family.
Yeah.
It's, you know, those are the hard things that you have to,
Yeah. Sometimes you got to cut your family off. Yeah.
But sometimes, you know, if it takes that in order to heal, start healing yourself, then do whatever it is that you need to do.
Exactly.
To get yourself to the place you need to be.
Exactly.
In order to heal.
Exactly. I know. I remember like Madison always just, you know, she was our little sister, always just MIA doing her own thing. But now I just realized she wants her peace.
Yeah.
She wants her peace.
Yes,
yeah.
exactly.
Because we're all so crazy.
Exactly. And I know that we would get upset with her because we would text her.
Why don't you want to be around
and
us?
She doesn't text back, or the girls would get mad. Mom, why isn't, you know, Madison texting us back? And I just finally started understanding. She's like,
Bitches are crazy.
Yeah, and I'll text you back when I feel like texting you back.
Exactly.
Like, and that's okay.
Yep.
Yeah.
I'm like, why don't you talk to me? It's like, now I get it.
When I get around to it, I get around to it.
Exactly.
But if I'm having a moment in a day and I want to be at peace, I'm not going to answer that call or respond to you right away if I'm not feeling it.
Yeah, exactly.
Or, I'm working on something else. Like unless
Get to
it's
it when I
like
get to it.
majorly
Yeah.
important, she'll respond. But if not, you know, she's like, don't interrupt my peace.
Yeah, exactly. I know. I find myself doing that now too. Like KJ, my girlfriend, she'll, you know, I'll have like 5 messages in my inbox or whatever. She's like, why aren't you answering those? I'm like, I'm not mentally like ready. To like,
Right.
It just feels like, you know, opening up a closet or having to put away messy clothes. It's like, I'm just not ready to like go through these conversations or read. I don't know. Especially, you know, now that I'm like an actual adult and doing this, you know, whole full-time job and, you know, it's so exhausting. Like I said, you only have so much social battery, so many people. I feel like, I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a lot.
So many things to address.
Yeah,
You just don't
wanna
overextend yourself. And you know what? Saying no, sometimes it's okay.
Yeah.
Like, sometimes we're so afraid to say no. It's like people aren't going to take offense to it. They'd rather have you say no.
They're
be
hoping
honest,
you say no.
If you can't 100%, you know, be there or commit to it. And, you know, we automatically just think like, oh, if I say no, they're going to be upset. When most of the time you say no and they're like, okay, cool.
That's why I'm like, I didn't want to go anyways. It's okay.
Let me try somebody else.
And I think that's one thing that I definitely learned in therapy was it's okay to say no, you know, like to whatever it is, or it's okay to, I remember there's this one example of I had this client, I do hair. And so she, wanted like, she would always come in and she would always dump like her problems on me, right? And I had to be okay with like saying like, hey, you can't do that to me. It's not okay, you know? And it's just
because
you
it's
need
a lot.
it's a lot.
Exactly.
Yes.
I know.
No, especially if you're dealing with your own, you know, issues.
Right.
Or,
I can't
God,
handle yours.
Exactly.
Yeah. It's like, you know what? I just don't have the capacity to deal with that right now.
Yeah.
And sometimes you just got to be honest.
Yeah, no, exactly. And now too, what they're saying, a courtesy, I read on this too. Ask the other person, like, hey, is it okay if I vent to you? Or like, are you in the right mind space? Like, I know me and my best friend Taylor, we do that constantly because Taylor's like my Patricia. Like, we literally talk about everything. And I know that she goes through it a lot and she knows I go through it a lot. So we always ask her, like, hey, are you okay? Like, can I vent to you first? And sometimes she will tell me, she's like, honestly, like, I can't handle it this week. Totally fine. Like, you need to be okay knowing what you can and cannot handle.
Yeah. Yes,
You
absolutely.
can't carry. If you can't even handle your emotions that week, no way you're going to be able to be that support for your friend.
Yeah,
you know?
exactly. And it's okay to put some of those things down.
Yeah.
You know, like I just love the example of, you know, carrying around that full backpack full of things.
Right.
And when you
have
start
a backpack with rocks.
Yes.
Yeah.
I can't take on your rocks in my backpack either.
Exactly.
I can barely carry
And when
mine.
you start unloading things out of that bag, it just gets so much lighter.
Yeah.
And we have to understand that sometimes it's okay to put the heavy things down and get back to it.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yes.
Take that break if you need to.
Take that break if you need to.
Yeah,
Exactly. That's so important. Yeah.
So I think, for at least Lauren and I, our experience with therapy has been pretty positive.
Yeah, I think it's definitely been positive for us.
And I mean, it doesn't mean that your journey has to be seeing a therapist, right? Or your healing journey has to be a certain way. I mean, Mom has had a different healing journey than we have. And I think everyone else takes their own route in how they heal. Yeah. And I think all it matters is like you're doing the work to heal.
Yeah, exactly. Doesn't matter what that work looks like as long as you're doing it.
Yeah. Yes. Yep, that is so important. Exactly. So important. Yeah.
Well, I want it. What were you gonna say?
Really quickly before we forget.
Oh my gosh, she's bringing out the cups.
Because I wanted to bring these out.
She has saved these cups since New Year's Eve. Since New Year's Eve.
I think it was very important, that we choose a word.
We were probably all drunk writing these words too.
Which we probably were. It was so much fun.
Yeah, it was so
probably
much.
the best New Year's ever.
It was fun.
But anyway, so I had gotten these little cups, and I thought they were really cute because it says, "This year I will." And I think this one's Serenade's, right?
This one's Serenade. Here, how about we all read them?
I'll read.
Oh God. Okay. All right, Mom, what does yours say?
Okay, so mine, this year I will follow through. That's one big one that I definitely need a lot of work on.
Well, hey, we follow through with this.
Yes,
that's a good
exactly.
Thing.
So that's a positive
After like
already.
3 years.
And just to be at peace. Just to find my peace and be at peace and just knowing I can't control everything or control people or anyone else or how they react and be okay with it. Like I'm okay with it. Like I'm good.
Yeah.
Like I'm good.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Mine says this year I will be happy, successful, and do whatever I want. And I think I've been living by that motto so far. So I'm happy. I'm successful. I got a new job. If you guys don't know, we'll get into this another time. But I was fired from a crappy job last year, and now I finally found like an amazing job with an amazing boss. And I do whatever I want. So I always have.
So I didn't have a phrase, but I guess if I had to choose one this year, I would like to make new memories because with Noah, being a first-time mom, it's just brought me so much joy already to make those new memories with her. And again, a part of like my healing process is healing myself so I could be the 100% for my daughter, and that's what I want. If that's my purpose in life and I'm able to provide a role model that Mom has been to me and provide that to my daughter now, that's what I want to do. Aww. And anyway, so my word for the year is accountability. And I think that, I've wanted to do a lot of things for so long and I just don't follow through and I'm want to hold myself accountable now. And I think us starting this podcast has, partaken part of that.
Yes.
I just really want to follow through too.
Yes.
and baby Noah has been such a great addition.
She has.
It has just, honestly, she has helped me through just these past 5 months and just knowing when you told us that, you were having a baby, just that anticipation and waiting for her because that carried me through the grief of losing my best friend.
Yeah.
So it helped. It really just kind of eased it.
I'm a firm, I think we all are, but I'm definitely a firm believer in, things happening at the right time.
Oh, yeah.
And I feel like, me not knowing that I wanted to have a baby and then deciding to have a baby and then happening so quickly, I feel like she came at the right time for all of us.
Definitely.
Everyone.
Yeah,
for
we were at
us.
a really, low point. When you said you were pregnant, that's when I just literally found out I got fired. And you told me you were pregnant. I was like, I didn't even know if she wanted kids. It was all just so shocking. And now the baby is the baby came so fast too. And and I just see your glow too.
Oh yeah, totally.
Yeah,
it's just been so
you're a different
so
person,
beautiful to watch you as a mom.
Yeah.
Because you're so loving and you have so much patience. And I just admire that. And I just think God, I wish I could have been, that mom.
But you are
But-
that mom. You are that mom, especially now. I think.
I mean, I also had Noah 10 years
And
later than
yeah.
you
you're
did.
right. I
you
did
know?
have you guys very young.
and now with the tools,
And I was still trying to grow up myself.
exactly.
Yeah.
And now with the tools, with getting our mental health right, like literally, this is
Yeah.
why we're doing this,
Yeah.
so that
But
we
you-
can change the future
Exactly.
in future generations.
But you are, and I just
Thank
love
you.
watching it all play out. I mean, it's just
know.
beautiful.
I feel
Such
like
a
she's
beautiful
definitely
mom.
like softened me. Like my
Oh,
heart has
yes.
grown like.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
Sereny
much.
was she had a little cold heart a little bit.
And I didn't really have a cold heart.
No, yeah.
It's just, you know, like that was one of
Hard.
the things.
Thick skin.
Yeah, because I was the oldest, so
She had-
having
be
so
tough.
much responsibility.
She
like,
had a lot of responsibility.
I
we put
had
that
to
on
grow up
her.
fast. I had to be tough.
Yeah.
I couldn't show that, you know, like I don't know what I was doing. I had to set an example also. And
Yeah.
so all of that was a lot. And I feel like I was always seen by my sisters as, oh, she's the mean one. She's the mom, you know, like my mom is like, she's not the mom in a way.
Yeah,
like,
no, I get what
that's
you're-
mom,
yeah.
but like
Mom was the fun mom. Mom was more
Yeah.
like mom was crazy mom.
I was wild,
Mom was
crazy mom.
Yeah.
But I was fun mom also.
Mom was fun mom.
Yeah.
Mom was
I
crazy
wasn't
mom.
Betty Crocker mom.
No, yeah. Mom disciplined us.
Sometimes I
yeah.
wish I was, but I didn't know. That wasn't me. I didn't know how to be that. That
Yeah.
just wasn't me.
And,
I was fun in other ways.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
so that really affected me also, and me as an adult, you know, having a lot of insecurity of, man, I feel like I am a mean person, and dealing with that. And one of the things that I talked to my therapist about was that, you know, like, am I a bad person? My sisters think I'm this like
And I never
wicked
thought you were a
witch,
bad
you know?
person.
And that is probably just coming from a place of insecurity.
yeah.
But my therapist told me, if you have to question if you're a bad person, you're not a bad person.
Yeah.
And, you know, just doing that really helped me. And so now, like with Noah, I've just been this different person, I feel, and she's helped me in those ways.
Yeah. She has. She really has. She came at the perfect time, because really, like, I just thought, I've done all this work in, you know, my healing and my mental health, and then, you know, just to have kind of things hit me, you know, one thing after another, like this last, with Patricia passing away, it was hard because her and her sister were twins, and they were both my best friends. And a year and a half before we lost her twin sister, Rebecca, and she died of pneumonia. And it was, you know, very tragic. And she died in her house alone. And I just remember, you know, we flew out there for the funeral, take care of some things. I went with Patricia, and you know, we were just inseparable after that, especially. I mean, we were before, but even, you know, with that, her sister lived out of state, and she had lived out of state probably for the past 15 years, and she had gone through a divorce, and, you know, her daughter, she was trying to raise her daughter between her and her ex-husband. And anyway, she got sick. She died of pneumonia, and we came back, and our bond grew even stronger than what it was. So losing Patricia after a year and a half, and us being like, girl, we're going to grow old together.
You mean losing Rebecca and then
Losing Rebecca and then losing Patricia. And then with us always having those conversations, like, she would always be like, you know, you're my sister now. Like, she really didn't have a relationship with her family. I was her family. Like, it was her daughters, and we were her family.
Yeah.
And just not having that just really tore me up. Like, could it get any worse? Like, here I'm putting in all this work and all this, just trying to get myself better. And at one point I just kind of felt like, what is this all, you know, what is all of this for? But I also had to remember, like, I still have my daughters, my beautiful daughters, that I have to continue to work on myself for. Like, I can't give up.
Yeah.
You know, you're going to go through those dark times where you're like, I just want to give up. Like, what is this all for?
Yeah.
But knowing that, okay, you've lost a part of you, a part of your life, but you still have other things, you know, that are still there for you. And with Noah being, you know, born, it's just like that has just been so much joy. Like it just fills my heart. You know, it just fills those empty pieces that had died.
Yeah.
You know, it's just kind of filling them back up, and it's just such a good feeling to be able to feel like, okay, I can do this. You know, I can get through this.
Yeah.
I can get through this. But definitely I think I will start seeking therapy, and actually, you know, it's good for me to probably be able to talk to someone. Since I don't have my person anymore. So I think I will.
Yeah.
I think I really will look into it.
Yeah.
So
exactly.
I mean,
make things better.
all of this, you know, I feel we hope with our stories and our, you know, experiences of our healing journeys and going to therapy, that other people who feel like they're in a dark place and that they don't have anywhere to turn to, that there is hope, and that you can seek help and you can do the work, as hard as it is, because even when as healed as we are, we still have our dark days. And it's an ongoing journey that you can't give up on, you know. Like it's going to be hard, and you're going to have good days and bad days, but I think
we're lucky to have each other. We are lucky to have each other, because without you guys, I remember just wanting so badly, just, you know, I don't want to talk to my sister, I don't want to talk to mom, like, but now I'm just like, you guys are like the only things like I want to be around, and I'm so thankful, because there's so many people who don't have that community, that friendship, that so I'm just really thankful.
So I think I am more so, you know, for like processing that grief. I know it comes and it goes, but I think it's really important to be able to talk to someone about that. And I think what makes it harder and it is because it happened during COVID, during the time where we couldn't see anyone. So just the thought of her dying in the hospital alone by herself, not even being able to, you know, go see her, not even being able to have like a proper burial or memorial for her. I mean, I think that's the hardest part of not being able to say goodbye that way. So, I think I'm going to do it. But thank you guys. Thank you guys for helping me through it. I mean, it means so much, you know, and the days that I needed to call and cry and just talk about how much I missed her. So
I know, I can't even imagine losing, a best friend. Like, it's terrible when you, like you said, when you don't have, you know, your sister or your mom, or you don't want to talk to them, you need that friend. And for me, that's my friend Taylor. And I couldn't imagine.
Can you imagine? I know. And that's been the hardest thing, like not being able to pick up the phone and call her.
Just, hey girl, I got my hair done.
Exactly. Just to laugh.
Exactly.
Like you need that. You need that one person that just makes you laugh about just the craziest things ever, like that, just deep down belly laugh. Like that's what we just used to laugh at the stupidest, dumbest things.
I know.
We're just hilarious to us.
I know. I believe
those are the fun things, you know.
You have your soulmate, that's, you know, your romantic soulmate, your partner, but I also believe that I keep going back to Taylor, but I call Taylor my soulmate. She's literally my
she was my
sister from another mister. Literally. My friend's soulmate. My soul sister. All right, guys. Well, that's it for our second episode. Like and subscribe. It Starts With Her podcast.
And remember, we are here to be your community, to be that big sister, that mom, that you guys can come to and have this safe space. And
exactly. Mom, you have something you want to close us out with?
Yeah, you know me. I love my quotes and I love my affirmations. So here's another one for you guys. Life will let you get away with something for a while, but sooner or later you will pay the price. Everything you do in life causes the effects that you experience. When you get the bill, be prepared to pay.
Wow.
And that was a quote by Benjamin Banzat.
All right, guys.
That's a good one that I love.
Thank you guys for joining us again.
Thank you for joining us. And
that was nice.
Come back and sit with us. We would love to have you guys.
Yep.
This is a safe space for you.
Don't forget to subscribe. YouTube, TikTok is It Starts With Her. Instagram Starts With Her podcast. And we love being here. Thank you.
Thank you.